Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, out on another walk. And this is a continuation of the walk that I started a couple of weeks ago when I went from the Jack and Jill windmills above Ditchling on Clayton Hill towards Ditchling Beacon, where I am now at. And strangely, ladies and gentlemen, if I just come round here, I've bumped into a couple of reprobates.
Oh, we don't mind being retro. Reprobates.
We have the lovely Julia and Joseph. Hello.
Hello, lovely Richard.
And also Mr. Kevin Hall. Hello, Kevin.
Morning, Richard.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
We are going to the Big V,
Excellent.
which is above Streat, and we're at Ditchling Beacon on the South Downs, just north of Brighton. So we're going to carry on across this busy road here, which is the road, I'm just going to go launch forward, that takes you up from Ditchling. It's a very steep road, takes you up from Ditchling, and then we're just going to carry on the South Downs way. But first, let's say hello to these rather lovely cows who are looking very suspicious. Oh, right there by the dew pond. That one there on the left has got a horn missing.
One horn missing.
Got one. Actually, the other one at the back. There's.
Because most of the time.
Anyway, we've got a reasonable day. It's quite cold today, isn't it, Kevin?
It's very cold.
Very cold. I'm glad you're wearing your hat.
Yes, Julia's got hers.
She has. It's very nice.
Somebody hasn't.
No, some idiot forgot theirs. Right, we're going to go onto the South Downs way, heading eastwards through this rather lovely gate here. I'll let you do the honours, as ever.
That's my usual job.
That's your usual job, that's right. Walking on the ridge here, we've got the views north and south, which gives us, hopefully, if the sun comes out a little bit more, better views. There's another cow here to say hello to.
Horn and a nub. Oh, I'm sorry to scare you.
There they go. I'm glad we're not actually walking in that field.
It's a touch muddy in there, isn't it?
It is a touch muddy.
Well, is it dew pond?
Yes, that's a rather beautiful dew pond.
Rather mucky, but
yes.
Picturesque, nonetheless.
So we haven't got too far to walk in this one, but we're going to go, as I say, eastwards up to about a mile, I guess, and then there's a slope. Well, there's slopes obviously all around us, but there's a slope down on the north escarpment, and planted there in celebration of Queen Victoria's Silver Jubilee, I think it was, is a giant V out of trees.
Oh, excellent.
And it's best seen, I made a video about this, I'll put a link in the description, best seen obviously from the Weald down there on the Sussex plains. But when I first discovered it, I couldn't think how you got to it.
Oh, right, okay.
Because people obviously would be interested in going to see it. We'll stick on this path up, actually. But then I noticed from the top of the downs you can get down to it, and that is the plan.
Yeah.
So this is good for you, Julia, to get out and have a bit of a walk, because since Joseph, how old is he now? About 5 months?
5 months, yeah. I've only been out a handful of times. So
yes.
Fitness is very low.
Yeah, so, and you're carrying the extra weight now of Joseph, who was, how much was he when he was born?
He was £4.6.
And you've recently had him
weighed, and well, he's gained in 5 months. He's gained £10 7 ounces.
Wow.
Okay.
You're only about 5 pounds in weight, aren't you?
Yes. I was waiting for something there, but I was going to say, be careful, Richard.
Right, we'll press on and see how far we get.
Yeah, looking forward to this.
Kevin,
Richard,
come and have a look at this. All along this stretch of downs are tumuli, burial mounds, and here, if you look at the lay of the land here, you can just see there's a dip where that gorse bush is.
Yeah, just there.
And all along here on the map you'll see them marked as burial mounds or just mounds, and this is a typical example. It's so muddy and wet where the cattle come in. It's a little enclosure of gorse and stuff, but yeah, and often you'll see they've got a dip in the centre of them. That's where they were plundered.
Oh right, okay.
In the 19th century, very often.
Yeah. So is that all? Do you find these all the way along the?
All along
Oh,
the
do
whole
you?
of the route of the South Downs, but they're quite prevalent here because where we started is an old Iron Age hill fort, and there is the earthworks there, and I'm going to come back on another video and explore that. This whole area full of the relics of our ancestors.
Do we know when these were dug out or plundered?
Well, it was all plundered in the 18th and 19th century,
Right, okay.
and the grave diggers, as they were known.
Yeah.
And you know, there was a sort of, I think, not only were they taking the bits to the museum and stuff, but I think there was also a sense of a race to try and get to them first. Once people realised in antiquity that these were burial mounds and there could be treasures and things,
Yeah.
a number of these grave diggers would come out and try and get to them first. They didn't always appreciate what they were looking for, and so they very much missed and messed up a whole load of artifacts.
Yeah.
We're coming up to some more lumps and bumps here, but I'm not quite sure what they are. It's difficult to tell, isn't it, now, because 2,500, 3,000 years have passed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But here is a gully coming up to us. Now, in a previous video I was talking about some of these weird shapes, and I was just reminding the viewer that the ice age never got this, the ice sheets never got down this far.
Yeah.
But as I was reminded, I'm going to try and get down there, the permafrosts were this far, and consequently, you know, they turned to water, and the water gushed off during the about 10,000 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
During the melt, and so that's what caused a lot of these shapes.
Yeah, yeah.
Another tumuli here, or tumulus. I forget which one is tumulus. I think is the singular. Tumuli, I think, is plural, which is, you know, the opposite to what you would think. Another one along there, just as I said before, they're all strung along here. It's absolutely fascinating to think this whole area back in the Neolithic times.
Looks like there might be another one.
Yeah,
in between the two.
Oh, in between the two. Yeah, I think you're right.
There's possibly three or four here.
Yes.
Got this first one here now, and then Julie and I spotted this.
When you think from Neolithics, the Bronze Age to the Iron Age, people have been up here for what, 5,000-6,000 years.
Yeah.
It makes our 2,000 years since the Roman invasion seem quite short.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so these sort of places have been very important for so long, and now in the last 2,000 years they're sort of almost irrelevant.
Yeah.
and almost forgotten. Yeah, more of them. Here's a hump here, the remnants. It's just that question of reading the landscape.
It's almost like there's a cluster of
Yeah.
mounds here.
Yes, very much so, which must have meant something. And being up high on the downs here with the views, there we go, climbing up this one on top of it, each one with a little dimple in the middle where it's been plundered, with that view down there looking north here. Stunning. But I mean, it's cold, isn't it? It's cold wind.
Very
It's,
cold wind.
bitterly
Yeah.
cold.
And those
Yeah.
people who lived here and this was their environment, you know, they had to survive in
They
this
must
sort
be
of
wearing
wind.
some thick furs.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have Gore-Tex then, did they? We found the path, and Kevin has the very wonderful job of opening the gate. Thank you, Kevin. And this is now taking us north, on the north escarpment, to the east of Ditchling Beacon where we started. We've got a warning here sign saying sheep grazing, all dogs and Vobes must be kept under close control.
The sheep in this field have been attacked twice on the 28th and 29th of December by loose dogs. Any dogs seen chasing, worrying the sheep will be shot.
Gosh, that's telling you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, rightly so.
Rightly so. You have been warned, and I mean, it's a known thing. You shouldn't be letting your dogs worry the sheep.
Oh, absolutely right.
It didn't say the Vobes will be shot, though, did it?
That can be arranged.
Yeah. A giant V on the landscape. Now, how much of that we'll appreciate from this point of view, I don't know. But here it is. We're looking down on it now. And you can see there's different, that looks like a holm oak in the foreground, and then there's some deciduous trees here. But we should get to see the V shape.
Something that would capture the V is a drone. From shooting it from above.
Yes, absolutely. And when I've got my drone license, I'll have to come back and get some pictures. I'm sure people have done it before, but it would be great to get those.
It'd be fabulous.
It would be lovely.
Yeah.
That's really steep.
It is very steep, isn't it?
Yeah, we haven't actually got to go down that part of it, because if you look down there, that is steep.
You don't fall, Kevin.
I know.
And imagine, just think about the people who had to plant the trees back then.
They must have been very sure-footed, I must say.
Absolutely. Well, that's it really for this video, but thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks guys for coming along. I just wanted to reach this point. We're going to investigate a little bit more, but for now, don't forget to follow, like and subscribe. I will carry on doing walks along the South Downs Way in little chunks like this, picking up from this point and carrying on west, and then going the other way, going east and then going west in another video. But thank you, Kevin, for joining us.
No, my pleasure, and thank you very much for asking me to come along.
It's a pleasure, and lovely Julia and Joseph.
Thank you for bringing us along too.
And we'll see you on the next one. Till then, thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.